1-800-961-9194 and ask for promo code Red State. That's 1-800-961-9194, promo code Red State. Put sleepless nights behind you with My Pillow, the most comfortable pillow you will ever own.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Wash my face in the mud. I need to feel the open rain, and I need to taste my blood. Yes, I know that it might sound strange, but everything that's ticking, everything that's beating makes us go insane. And I got nothing more to say.
That's right. You might not have nothing more to say, Ed, but we do. We got about another 30 minutes left. If you'd like to join in the conversation, give us a call, 402-858-1938. That's 402-858-1938. You're listening to Morning News Radio. I am your host, Jeff Norton. You can join us here every weekday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live. We are live. This is not a recorded show. That's right. Oh, it's hunger time. That's the problem when you got a great mic. It picks up stuff like that. That's right. That was growling. Hey, a little funny fact. For those, it is April, as we all know. April is National Car Care Month, National Kite Month, National Poetry Month, National Fresh Celery Month, National Pecan. I can't make this, guys. I'm not making this up, guys. April is National Pecan Month. Say pecan or pecan? Pecan Month. National Soft Pretzel Month, National Soy Food Month, National Florida Tomato Month, and National Garlic Month, and National Grilled Cheese Month. That is right. That is for the month of April. So get out there, support one of those months. Just make stuff up. We want to be so all inclusive, right? Don't want to offend anybody. We just got to throw them in there. So before we took the break and when we started the show, we were talking about some of my pontifications over the weekend, some of my clarity that I had. I was thinking about this, about the fact that Washington, D.C. is full of lawyers, right? We all know that. Some lawyers. I'll say it is full of crooks, though, most of it. So, all right. So this is the play, guys. I'm telling you. I'm one of these guys. If you know me long enough, you will know I love getting playbooks. I love learning how the opposition thinks. I will read their books. I don't, I won't sit back and say, this book, that book. I will read their books. I will read the material in which they have subscribed to, or try to at least. Gives you a lot of insight. You know what they're reading. And I'm a huge, huge fan of getting the opposition's playbook. And I just, it just clicked in my moment of clarity when I turned off the distraction. And I think a lot of this stuff is distraction. It is all about distraction. It is to keep us off tilt. It is to keep us at each other's throats, right? And this is the play. We here, you have heard, I am sure, in your adult life, about cases in which, I'm going to use this as an example because this is the one that comes to the top. And I apologize if this offends you. Not really. I'm not politically correct. rape cases, right? Horrible, horrible things. What does the defense try to do when they know that their customer, their client, person they're representing is guilty? What do they do? What does the defense always do? And they know that they'll discredit the victim. That's what they do. They try to paint the victim, she did this or she did that or she allowed or he, you have rape cases with guys. But, they go after the victim and they try to make it that the defendant is the victim, right? They do that to discredit the individual, the victim, to discredit, to diminish their testimony. In some cases it works, in some cases it doesn't. I mean, look at Hillary Clinton. Remember Hillary representing the rapist who raped that child in Arkansas, and the fact that Hillary attacked the child on the stand and it ended up getting the rapist acquitted? Remember that? Remember her bragging about that? That is the play. That is what they do. That is what defense attorneys do, is that when they know they don't have a case based upon merit. I mean, if you had a case in which, the defendant had an outstanding alibi, was eating dinner, was on TV or doing whatever. When you have those kind of cases, they bring those up. They say, well, no, Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, there's no way that my client could have done that. He was singing on a concert, and here's the video, and there was 50,000 people watching him. Or whatever. Right? That's what they bring up. But when they don't have a leg to stand on, what do? They attack the victim. They attack the victim. And in my moment of clarity, I sat back and they try to repute their integrity, them as an individual and stuff. So I sat back and I thought about this weekend. And I thought about everything that's going on, the 90, 80s plus days that President Trump's been in office. And I've come to the conclusion, the reason why there's so much vitriol, I think it's twofold. I think number one is that he's, kicking over the apple cart, the political apple cart. I think that's coming. But I think the other part of it is that they're trying, because they know President Trump doesn't have a filter. He doesn't. When he sees stuff, he is going to say stuff. And I think that he is not going to go along with status quo. I actually believe the reason why he is under attack from the left and from the right. I mean, you have the snowflakes, right? They're always they're upset because they didn't get their participation trophy. Which I believe Trump, the best thing he needs to do is pay the $50 million, buy 50 million participation trophies and send them out. Send them out. But I actually believe that it is twofold. Number one is he is going to kick over the New World Order apple cart. He's not part of the machine. The other thing is that he doesn't have a filter. Can you imagine if President Trump got his hands on the real 9/11 documents? If he got his hands on maybe who killed President Kennedy? If he got his hands on, just think about all the conspiracy theories out there. If he had his hands on that information, the fact that the Federal Reserve, if he comes out and makes a statement, the last presidents that tried to resolve the Federal Reserve were assassinated, Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. But if he came out and basically told the American people that the Federal Reserve is bunk, that the Federal Reserve is basically bankers, it's not federal, it's all bankers. They just put the name federal in there. It has nothing to do with the federal government. And the fact that the Federal Reserve prints money, tells the Treasury to print money to give it out because of their financial woes. I mean, think about this. This is how the Federal Reserve works. This is one of the things. There's two ways that banks go under. You have a run on the bank, in which more money is being pulled out than what's being put in, or you have a reconciliation issue in which more money is being, you have customers pulling out, the run on the bank, customers pulling out. The other run on the bank is that you would have is where you have more outpays than inpays. In other words, people in your bank have written more checks than you have money in your account to cover to give the other bank. So what does the Federal Reserve do to balance these out? Every day, the Federal Reserve goes to the Treasury and says, all right, print more money, give it to us. But now it's no longer printing money. It's all, we'll just add another zero to the balance, electronic. That's where we're at. So can you imagine if the American president stood up in front of the American people and said, look, it's a Ponzi scheme, it's a scam. And oh, by the way, the 20 to 36% interest or taxes that you pay, all that money goes to these banks to pay for their Ponzi scheme or their scam. There would be pitchforks. I mean, the intelligent people out there already know that. They already know it. But if you had the American president get up there in a State of the Union address and say, look, American people, let me tell you the Ponzi scam that's going on. And that's what's got the New World Order. That's what's got these politicians shuddering in their boots. And they all are. Because, see, they all benefit from this because they're all on the take. There's a reason why someone goes into politics, for $100,000 a year job and comes out a multi-millionaire. Because they're on the take, people. So, what is it for the Federal Reserve, these bankers, these corporate, especially the bankers, to add another zero to your bank account, right? It's no big deal. None whatsoever. So they're all on the take. So you got an individual who's not on the take, comes into office, and can you imagine? And he can go nuclear. He can say, look, you son of a... I'm not going to swear on the air. Try not to. But he could. Think about it. You push him back in the corner, he could tip over the apple cart and expose them for everything that they got. So it is very critical, very crucial that they discredit him, that they make him sound like a lunatic, a madman. And they have to do that as soon as possible. And that's what you're seeing. Because it doesn't make sense. The fact that you have a man, I mean, if President Trump was so unstable and so insane, I mean, yeah, granted, there are a lot of insane rich people. Look at George Soros, but he's a cunning. He's intelligent. It's amazing that the left will honor him, will talk about how great he is, but he's Hitler, except he hasn't exterminated anybody. He's contributed to the extermination of the Jews. Look it up. Look at his past. He was a Nazi sympathizer. He would go in. He was the worst of the worst when it comes to the Jews or to the Nazis. He was horrible. But he was a sympathizer. I mean, what he would do is he would go into wealthy Jews' homes, or he'd go into wealthy people's homes, and he would note the treasures, the artwork, the pieces of gold and gilt and all that stuff, and then he would tell his Nazi friends. And then, of course, they would go in there